because we've been conditioned to think that the insanity that is our world today is the real world and the reality, right? But when we pause and we pull back, it's insanity. And yet the story tells us that no, no, that's real. We have all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, beautiful souls. Thanks for tuning in today. My voice is a little croaky. I've been sick lately. Glad to be on the other side of it, but still have my lingering voice. So, as we dive into our call today, we talk a lot about disappointment, disappointing others, disappointing ourselves. Marie is here with us, and she is asking about signs and how she can trust the signs that she's receiving in order to make a substantial decision in her life. And what ends up being threaded through our conversation is her deep desire to not get it wrong, to not mess up, to make the right choice. And I know that so many of us get caught in this place. And we have this huge human wound of perfection and needing to know, needing to do, needing to get everything right. Because if we don't, then there's something wrong with us. Everything's going to fall apart. You know, it gets really intense for us in that place. And I get it. I walked that myself for a long time. And it's a beautiful thing when we find the freedom on the other side and we get to choose what's true and correct for us because it's true and correct for us. And, you know, Marie and I dive into this and we really end up talking a lot as well about life lessons and the people that we choose in our lives. Right? We all go through a process before our soul comes to earth where we choose our parents, we choose the circumstances that we will be born into and the things that we want to accomplish in this lifetime. Like the main purpose of our souls being here is to learn. And then we get here and we forget all that. And it can become tricky, right? And challenging as we start to navigate those relationships and those situations. So this is a really beautiful call about allowing ourselves to connect with that deep truth inside ourselves and make the choice because you want to make the choice, not because someone else needs you to, or you're trying to not disappoint anybody else, you know, but really you come into your own being and you make your choice because it's your choice. And it is the thing that you want to do. And so you do it. So while you're listening, right, think about where are those places in your life that you are avoiding making a decision and that you might be looking around for signs, but then you're not trusting your signs and you're kind of caught, right, in the collective wound that is all around us, all of us. And where can you come into center? Where can you come into that place that is deep within you that really knows? You know the answer already. You know what you need to do. You know the step that you need to take. Think about that place, and then how can you act from that place? How can you decide? How can you choose? And then how can you act? This is the key to moving your life in a direction that you want to go. And if you want to learn more about the soul record readings that I talk about in this episode and find out your life lesson and things related to your soul and the story of your soul, there's a link in the show notes. You can book a reading. And I'd love to support you in that way. There's more information there at that link about what a soul record is and how it can support you. Specifically, I do a lot of these readings that are about life purpose. And what I love is that they really do help you understand how you are already embodying the truth of who you are. We'll also put in a show notes. I did an episode just a couple weeks ago on magical moments that is about Akashic Soul Records. You might want to check that out. So yeah, thanks for being here. It's so, so beautiful to be with you. Mwah. Hi, Marie. Welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
Thank you for having me. I was just kind of needing guidance on my next step to make sure that I'm going on the right path to what I'm supposed to be doing. To make sure my signs, I need to follow those.
Okay, so you're receiving signs.
I believe so.
Okay, about where you're headed. And would you say you're having trouble sort of trusting those signs, understanding the signs? Where are you landing with that?
Understanding them is a big thing, but like, what are they saying to me? Like, am I seeing it because I'm thinking something, or is it just because someone just drove by me with numbers that I was thinking about? You know what I mean? I just want to be able to make sure I can interpret correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, numbers are a big way that my guides speak to me as well. Do you have or have you cultivated a relationship with your guides at this point?
I speak out loud as if they're here. And I actively will say, like my grandmother and my aunt who has passed over, I will call their names. I'll be like, Grandma, Aunt Luann, if you're here. I have a past coworker sometimes that I'll call on. And I feel like something does present itself, but it's not like I can hear it. I feel something.
Mm.
It's like a tingle in my arm, like someone say hugging me, but like half hug, like only on one side,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you know what your strongest intuitive gift is?
Sometimes my intuition, I'll have dreams that are very vivid and then it comes true. And I'm like, oh, wow, that was a little scary that I dreamt that. And then it happened the way I dreamt it. That's happened a handful of times. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's always with my friend and her brother. It was two examples. And it was just so creepy that I was like, oh my God, was I like out of my body, like watching it happen type of thing? That's happened. I get deja vu all the time too. I don't know if that would be a sign, but all the time, like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah. So, a couple things there, right? The dream world is very potent, and seeing things in that realm is a very psychic gift, right? And then I hear you with the deja vu, which is precognition, where both of these things are where you are seeing the future,
Hmm.
right? And then you're embodying it. And when you were talking about feeling the tingling, right, it makes me think of clairsentience, which is clear feeling, which is also a gift. And then clear seeing, clear knowing, and clear hearing. And before the call, we were talking about hearing as well, where you hear your guides sometimes like say your name.
Yeah.
So, right there, like I sense these gifts in you, like they're there and they're very like with you. And then there's this separation where you're negating
right? Like you're like, oh, I don't know if I can trust that, or oh, did that really happen? Or
Yes.
yeah. So why do you think you do that?
I just have doubt, unfortunately, because I feel like maybe because I'm not tapped in fully, like I would love to explore if I could actually, like, if I'm correct with the feelings and the hearing, I would love to be able to be like, talk to me anytime. I would love that. But I feel like it's just my own hesitation, like my own, like, is this going to make me seem crazy type of thing? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, she hears things, she sees things, she crazy. No. But then it's my gut too sometimes. Like, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that doesn't feel right. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, well, the reason that I laughed at that is because what I have experienced about this path is that there are many points along the way where we pause and say, am I going insane? Like, is this crazy? Like, what? So I very much, right, relate to what you're saying on a personal level and also know that this is part of the journey because we've been conditioned to think that the insanity that is our world today is the real world and the reality, right? But when we pause and we pull back, it's insanity. And
Mm-hmm.
yet
Yes.
the story tells us that no, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other, like authentically divine, incredible, creative part of us that is really pushing on you, right, to get out. That's what we've been taught to say is insanity. And it's such a flip flop, right? So it's like you are in the cauldron right now. You're in the pressure cooker. That's the word that's coming through for you.
Uh-huh. That's what I feel like. Yes.
Yeah.
It's crunch time. Like something's gotta give.
Hmm.
So I gotta like know, like, am I going the right way? Because I don't want to mess up and backtrack. Because that's not an option.
So I get that, right? I entirely get what you're saying. Like, you don't want to, with it being feeling so volatile, being so crunch time, that there isn't room for you to play around or mess up or any of these things that we have been taught about curiosity and experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I feel you in that place, right, it's less about knowing that you're taking the exact correct step and more about creating a different relationship with the way that you hold uncertainty, failure, messing up, getting it wrong, not doing the right thing, right? Like you've built an identity with these things that say, so long as I don't mess up, so long as I get it right, so long as I keep going in the right direction, I can be okay.
Yeah. And I get it. Nothing in life is 100% guaranteed. Like, I understand that. But I just have had a lot of stuff go on in the last couple of years that I was like, there's got to be sunshine on the other side of this. And I just, like I said, I just don't want to set myself up for disappointment because I didn't do it correctly. Like, I'm already doubting myself, which is not a good place to start at all. But it's like, how do I trust myself to know that I'm correct?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, trust your gut, but sometimes she doesn't say anything to me.
Well, sweetheart, you've set yourself up inside of this story, right? You don't want to get disappointed if you don't do it correctly. And that's so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Hmm.
And like I said, I would love to explore and get further into my, if I have abilities, I would love that. Because that's been something that has fascinated me, like, as long as I can remember.
Well, you do have these abilities. The short amount we time we spent together and what you've told me, and I can feel them in you as well, right? So there's
Mhm.
both things happening there. They are alive and available in you, and they're trying to get your attention. And what I see, right, threaded back through the circumstances that you have gone through that maybe weren't what you wanted, they were disappointing. You're not now where you thought you would be yet. That's your ego persona, right? The part of you that you've created to keep yourself safe. That's who's talking. Because underneath, I can very clearly hear your soul saying, oh, no, 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 this is all good. I chose all this because I needed to learn. And look, we've learned. But the other voice is so loud that
That she's a
you're,
little loud. Yeah, she's too loud.
Mhm. Well,
I know this may sound crazy or not crazy. I shouldn't say it like that, but I don't want to come back with the same people.
like in another life.
Yes, like I want to know that I have learned whatever karmic lesson I need to because I can't do this again with them again. Even trading, if I'm the dad or the mom, like I just don't want any part of their souls. And it's terrible, but also like I need that. And that's part of like the breakaway, the am I doing the right thing? Is it gonna be okay? Like, am I gonna be okay? Are we gonna be okay? Just doubt the ego, like you said.
Yeah, well, what would being okay look like?
You know what? To be honest, like not stressing out about or feeling like I'm disappointing somebody. And that's like a lot, that's not something we can unpack quickly, but I just have to just not bully myself and let it just happen. But I also want, like I said, I need to know because I've dealt with so much. Like, yeah, I was supposed to be at this point in my life and things have not gone the way they have expected to go. But that's not because of myself, it's just outside circumstances. But it affects me and my family and other things. Like, I know I have to take some responsibility and I do, but a lot of it is so external that I can't control it. And I've tried. And it's just like now I'm like, okay, I got to know if we're heading because I can't spin my wheels in my current state anymore.
Mhm.
Like either reverse or drive, and I want to drive.
So, what's stopping you from driving?
I feel like I said, the attachment, it's toxic with my parents, but I've never been like away from them. But I need to cut that cord to where I never have to deal with them. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's your parents. Yeah, but that doesn't mean they can treat people the way they treat people or do things. So I just want to make sure, like, I'm not going, like I keep saying, like going in the wrong direction. It's just like that my soul is going to be okay at the end of this. And I know like people can't predict the future or see you all the way, but like I said, I don't want to come back with these people. Like I want to learn whatever lesson I need to learn and move on and learn another lesson if I need to. Come back as a pigeon. I don't know.
Well, I love this empowered place in you that is like, this needs to be done. Like, I got to clean this up in this lifetime. So, obviously, you came here to do that, my love, right? Because here it is. So, other than people telling you that they are your parents and so you shouldn't, what else is stopping you from walking away the way that it sounds like you want to?
There's a lot of financial, like, because we have a mother daughter house and it was supposed to go to myself and my husband. And they just really like yanked the rug out from underneath us. So not stuck. I won't say stuck, but like the money that we put into a home that we thought was going to be ours, we can't reclaim. Like we can't get it back. So like our little nest egg was invested in something that we were promised. And because of, like I said, external, like I can't control their decision making, it's just like left us with like, oh, figure it out. But it's like, why should we have to figure it out when it was figured out, but you just messed up everything? Being, in my opinion, super stupid. But that's why I'm like, I can't come, especially with my father. I was like, I can't come back with this man. Like, I can't. Like, I can't do another life with this guy. Like, he learned no lesson. Whatever he was supposed to learn, he has not learned it. So he's going to come back, and I don't want to be attached to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you clean up your karma with him and then have a different trajectory. So I'm curious, right, in there that, I mean, we could take that all different ways. There's a legal angle, there's like the logistics of it all. But the thing that is wanting my attention, and obviously I don't know all the ins and outs and whatnot, but it sounds like it's done in the sense that it's done because it's done. So why can't you leave?
Well, we're currently looking. It's not like we can't. It's
Okay.
just that, like, right now, because, like I said, of not being able to recuperate the money. And to be honest, like that, like legally, like you said, there's legal avenues. It's just that they are just so, and they're not here obviously to defend themselves, but they're just downright ruthless and evil. And they will lie and play games because that's just who they are. And it's sad that I had to find that out so late in my life, but I'm glad I did. Unfortunately, there is positive. I do know that I can survive without them, but it's the walking away part. Like, am I going to be okay? Cutting it off. Like, I'm never going to talk to you again, or I'm never going to see you again, or I'm never going to have to deal with any of this stuff ever again.
So in there, right? Like when we use the words never and always, we want to be really, really conscious and intentional when we're using those words because they are two words that are very easy to just throw into sentences. And they create a very black and white scenario that then we are very much caught in the story, right? It's either or, it's this way or that way. There's no middle ground. It takes away possibility. So, what I'm feeling in here for you, right, is to, yes, the tendency in these situations and very like validating you in that, right? Like to be like, I'm done forever. That's it. And right now, that feels correct. Like, yeah, it's like you're not going to recoup the money anyway from this moment. And you staying underneath, it feels very kind of slippery and slimy, like you staying under there. It's like getting away from the situation and following these really like deep instincts inside you that want to say, I never want to speak to them again. Like following that, allowing for that now, right? You don't have the money anyway, whether you stay or go, you don't have the money. So if we're only looking at it through that lens, then what's the difference whether you stay or go, right? It's the same outcome. But in leaving and you doing work around this, right? Like there's a lot of sort of that place inside you that needs to heal from this relationship. And you don't need them to heal yourself or to move through this yourself and find the place in you that can reconcile this. You do not need them. But also with parents, it can be like there's such a tender part of us that when we say we're never going to see them again, it can activate the tender part inside of us that are like, but they're my parents. And even though grown up you is like, I never want to see them again, the tender part in you is going to bump up against that, right? Because she's not looking at it through the lens of the adult and the logistics. She's just looking at it through her heart and that she's heartbroken because of what happened.
Definitely. Definitely. Like I said, I've discovered a lot about myself in recent years. It's been a long journey, especially with my father, but mother joined in. So it's like, I got to go. And I don't want to subject my children to any of this. My poor husband, like, I don't want this emotionally charged situation to be what does the undoing for us when we can do something else, like go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. If they weren't your parents, would you still be there? Like if this was just a business transaction and someone did this to you, would you?
Oh, I would have left
Mm-hmm.
like immediately. But like you said, like as much as I'm like, I'm done with them, I don't want to come back with them. It's like, why? Like, what are you guys supposed to be doing to help my situation, but you're causing a situation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be helpful in these times, right, to pull back and look at it like that. Okay, if they weren't my parents, what would I choose? And you've got this really strong sense in you that you need to leave. And the thing is, too, right, it's like you don't need to make the choice in this moment that it's forever, because that adds a whole other layer to the decision, right? What feels true for you is that right now, for the next little while, you want nothing to do with them. So follow that, right? We have this tendency of our primitive brain that's going to pile on every possibility and it wants to make it forever. Whereas the truth is, all you know is it's really right now. And then once you have some space, once you've kind of got back on your feet from this, getting away from them will help you see the path forward more clearly. Because right now, everything feels really mingled and muddled and kind of murky and like, you can't see the path forward because you're still in the old story.
Yeah. And I'm like treading water.
Yeah. But getting out of the pool,
Yes. Or get out of the pool. I want to swim away. Like,
yeah, follow that sensation, right? Like that is you, that knowing, that deeper knowing. And the thing is, when it feels so visceral and so like correct inside you, the way you build the relationship with that part is that you don't question that part. You just follow it.
I have to, like I said, listen to myself a little more without doubting if I'm correct. But I'm so cautious, like I said, because I just don't want as my husband says, he does this like when someone drops a rock into a lake, it ripples out. Some people are only concerned about the rock. I'm concerned about the ripple. Like, I just want to make sure whatever I am doing, like, I'm too, also, I feel like maybe trying to overcorrect with what I'm doing, say, with my children, like trying to protect them because I was not protected, like right now with this situation. And I just don't want them coming out of this like messed up because they see a lot, they hear a lot. Unfortunately, it's not domestic in that like at all. So I don't want you to think I'm in danger or something. It's not like that. It's just that I just want them to be healthy and know that like we got this. It's okay. We're going to make it. But sometimes those people be putting a cramp in my flow. They be jamming up my flow.
Well, there's a couple things in here, my love. Okay. So, disappointment, right, is the word that's coming back. And I would say that goes back to your childhood related to your parents. So, that's going to be a really potent and powerful place for you to explore and recognize that that little girl in you is sticking around because she doesn't want to disappoint her parents, even though her parents are disappointing you, right? So in there's work for you to do. The other place for you to focus is, how you're talking about the ripples. One of the things as when we are not protected as a child, when we are not heard, when we are not seen, when we are not given the love that we need, we are way too concerned about the ripples because
That makes sense now.
they keep us safe, right? If you are constantly aware of how everybody else is affected in a situation, you can then know how to react and act inside of this so that you can keep yourself safe. But what you're doing is you're deserting yourself, you're disappointing yourself because ultimately you have to focus on yourself first because then there'll be even less ripples, right? The more and more the ripples come because you're not home in your body.
Hmm. Yeah, like it just like I said, everything feels so chaotic in that sense. Like I want to cleanse myself. A friend, she does Reiki, and I was like, "Can we like cleanse me?" And she's like, "You're vibrating right now. Like you're like so all over the place." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Like I just want to be clear. Like like I'm so focused on trying to be a better me spiritually that I'm like, I need all of this. I need to cleanse myself. I need to get out of the situation. You know what I mean? I feel like I said, I'm trying to do a lot of stuff in the short amount of time, but I also want to know myself, like I was true to myself. Like, I'm clear. There's nothing that's going to say come back to bite me in the butt. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. I cleaned up my mess.
And by you doing that, right, just because your kids, your girls are going through a hard time with you, by you being really clear, you being supported, you choosing, right, the path forward, even though all this is going on around, what your girls see is how strong you are inside it all. And that's the thing to focus on, right? Being true to you, coming home to you. They're going to see that example. And that's what they're going to remember about this time, is how mom walked us through this. Like, yeah, this was a really rough time. And yet mom was the person that was like the foundation. And she did that by loving herself first, because then you teach them to love themselves first.
Maybe that's what it is. Excuse me. I'm like choking up.
Yeah, it's emotion, it's energy moving, sweetheart.
I just don't want them to feel like I feel. This is not a cool feeling. And I would never want my children. That's why, too, I think I don't understand. It's like, how can parents treat their kids like that? Like, I didn't ask to be here. Like, they didn't ask. My kids didn't ask to be here. I wanted them here. But I shouldn't have to catch crap because of something that they're not mature with. Like, they're searching for something in themselves, and it's like taking it out on their children. But me, because I'm a twin and my sister is the golden child, she can do no wrong at all. And everything with them, with me, is like, I can't do anything right. I'm cool in public, when they're bragging about me, but at home, forget about it. I don't do this. I don't do. I'm like,
Yeah, and that's going to tie into that disappointment wound, right? Like constantly that part of you that is trying to appease your parents and please them and get it right. And oh gosh, please just love me. So that's a very valuable part. And in closing, I do just want to share something with you. Like you said that you didn't choose to be here and your girls didn't choose to be here because you wanted them here. And I follow a teaching that's a little bit different to that. And it can be helpful. And you may have heard this before, but you didn't choose your girls. I mean, you did in a way, right? You chose to have a child, but ultimately your girls chose you. Souls come from the void. They choose their parents.
well, I made a terrible choice.
I know, right? I used to feel that way too. But that way, my love, is disempowering. When you as a soul were deciding to come here, you wanted to learn as much as you could learn in this lifetime, right? This is why we're here, is to learn as souls, so that when we go back, we have expanded. And Earth is a school. This is just the way I see it, the way I experience it, the way I relate to it. And so you get to stay there in the void and you choose a life and you choose what you most want to learn in this life. And then you choose the parents and the people and the circumstances that are going to help you learn that in the deepest way. And as you know, we do not learn as well in just all the happy joy. We learn in the hard and the challenging and the things that rub us and the things that pull us and it stretches and grow us, right? So your soul is learning. And you chose those parents because as a soul, you knew that they are the ones the most fitted for your soul's expansion in this lifetime. And when you look at it through that lens, you just took your power back from your parents. They have no hold over you. You chose them and all their misguided ways because you want to learn something.
I do. I want to be an amazing person. Like, just.
Well, you already are an amazing
Thank
person,
you.
my love.
I guess worrying about if I'm an amazing person means I'm an amazing person. Right?
Yeah, we just get caught inside the stories and the conditioning and all the things, right? And you are actively pulling back the curtains, asking to be shown something different.
Yeah, like I say, I will speak out loud and like my grandmother and my aunt and be like, what is happening? Like, why is your child acting a fool right now? Like, can someone go talk to her for me or something? Like, what is happening?
Something that's helped me is to, in this situation, look at your mother and all the things that she's doing to hurt you and thank her for showing up in all her awfulness. Because ultimately, underneath, right, she loves you. So you and her made an agreement before you came to Earth that she was going to treat you terribly. And she had to
Yay.
sign up for that role,
Yeah.
right? Like she had to say, okay, I love you, but I'll come down here and be really mean to you. I'm so sorry, but okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so it has helped me with those super, super challenging relationships to think of it like this and say, God, thank you for just being so awful so that I could grow so much.
That is a very positive way to look at it and move forward because, yeah, like they're not going to break me, but I'm not going to allow them to make me into something that I'm not, that I refuse to be, like,
Mm-hmm. Don't give your power away, right? Like when you make it about her or them or the situation, you're taking your power and you're just putting it on the circumstances instead of like holding your power and then being like, all right, what am I doing with this? What am I creating and making with this situation? And it's a very different place to come from.
I'm going to make it. I know that. We're all going to make it. I just want, like I said, I know it's the right thing, like, obviously, but it's just, what am I being told? Like, what am I trying to figure out with, like certain signs? Like, okay,
Well, it sounds like right? Like you have to get away from this situation, right? Like that, but part of you just still having a hard time accepting that, maybe.
yeah, like I said, I'm cool with like, like, oh, I never want to talk to them again if I don't see them, blah, blah, blah. But the walking away, like, I know I have to walk away. I am going to walk away, but I feel like that's going to be like, whew.
Mm-hmm. And it will be, right? Like, I mean, it's your parents and you're doing something drastic. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be forever. That's like the layer of the story that you can drop that could make it easier, where it's just for now until I can see something different, until we can renegotiate this relationship, right? Until you can work through some of your things. And a big thing for you in this that I see you learning is how to trust yourself and the knowing that lives in you and working with this part of you, the disappointed, right? The little girl that doesn't want to disappoint anybody.
Yes. It's a lot. 'Cause a lot of pressure was put on me as a kid to, like every parent, like, oh, you got to be a certain way and present yourself a certain way because we can't look, it's all smiles on the outside, but the world is crashing around us in the inside. And I'm tired of hiding that. And I don't want to be like that, nor let them put me in that position anymore. Like I said, I know, like you said, they chose me, I chose them. I needed to learn, but I couldn't go like another lifetime because this is a lot. I wouldn't wish this on anybody to deal with parents. And I know everybody has their things, like not everybody's family is perfect and things don't go right all the time. But sometimes I think I'm like, what did I do in a previous life that got me here with this situation?
That could be something really valuable to explore because I do feel that we bring karma from our past lives to clean up. And so, as you are undertaking this and as you are diving into it, you are not just cleaning this life, you are cleaning past lives as well. And then the beautiful thing about it is, as you clean up your karma, it turns into your dharma and your purpose and the thing that you are here to share with the world.
Yes. I want Dharma.
Well, does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You were very helpful. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.